Yeah, so I'm filming this one not from my usual house, and I'm in a suit. I'm in a random hotel room in London at the moment. Don't worry, my wife didn't kick me out or anything. I'm actually in London at the moment because I'm going to the Data IQ Awards tonight, which is going to be quite exciting. My company has a few data products that are up for awards, so fingers crossed. I'm going to be all suited and booted, black tie, little dicky bow. I'm not in that yet, but I've got it just here that I'm going to put on after this. But I needed to film a video this week, and just because there's so much going on at work at the moment, I knew that I wasn't going to get time to film all of that unless I kind of did it now. Children aren't here. I'm in a random hotel room, so let's kick on. And actually, it's kind of appropriate that I am, just in a hotel room here, because well, in last week's session, the Dungeon of the Mad Mage, we were in a hotel room there as well. That's a bit of a reach, wasn't it? But no, it was definitely what you might call a shopping episode, which is not a bad thing. Shopping's always good. Everyone enjoys it. I do feel a bit sorry for the DM though, because it was absolutely, you know, when we as a party have been telling him for the last few sessions, we're going this way and we're all prepped, we're going this way. And he's watched my videos and he's like, I get it, the party's going to go this way. And so he, during his finite time that he has each week to prep the session, he prepped a particular session for if you recall, we're on the 3rd floor of the dungeon right now. We just left the drow and we said we were going to scout on ahead and check out these hobgoblins, and we were going to go through the hobgoblins and to Skullport. And that was indeed our intention going into things, and that's the way that he prepped. But that turned out to be not the way that we went in the end. And the main reason is because of opportunistic dice rolling. We can blame it on the dice. It's not our fault. Someone rolled a really good insight check. So yeah, let's do the breakdown on this one. So when we started off, as I said, we left the drow and we did head south, and we were going to try and loop around and come up to where it says bugbears on here, but we knew it was actually hobgoblins. This map is not entirely accurate. We are aware of this fact. We went into this room that is here marked puzzle, and it was a door that the drow had said they weren't able to get through. And the reason for that was very simple. It's because only dwarves can open this door. I am a dwarf, and so my character was able to open this door with no problem whatsoever. And we ended up in an area that was definitely some sort of dwarven vault, which was empty. And inside this vault, there was a giant elemental rock monster thing, a Zorn. And it was looking around for gold, and so we were trying to sneak past it. There was a door on the other side we wanted to investigate. My character, knowing that this is some sort of vault, knowing that he is hunting for people who are dwarves themselves and might be interested in vaults and treasure, he's like, I need to investigate this properly. So we're sneaking through. However, the Zorn is able to spot us. And at first it tries talking to us. None of us can communicate with it, unfortunately. And so we fight. Because that's the way the world works. If you can't talk to someone, you kill them. I am so glad that D&D rules do not work in reality. There's a video in that, I think. Anyway, by the by, one of the rocks in this room, in this vault, I noticed was actually hollow. It was like a fake rock, and I cracked it open, and inside there was a throne, a wooden alabaster throne, very nicely carved. And apparently this was actually the throne that we had been asked way back in the very first session. One of our characters, who is now dead, was asked by Volo to, yes, that Volo, he was asked to find this throne, and he was going to give us some reward in exchange. I'm sure it's probably just a tavern or something which is haunted. Fine, whatever. But so we've got that throne now. It's in the bag of holding. I have no idea how a bag is able to expand around the size of a chair. but we warp our minds around that fact and we continue. And during that fight as well, I should mention, Bolin went down at one point, so there's a very nice opportunity. At first, few of us were trying to kind of like sneak away. We didn't really want to have this fight. The Goliath in particular was just like hammering on this door, trying to get through it. You've tried that before with a magically locked door. You can't do it. In this particular case, only dwarves can open it, so I had to disengage from the combat just to open this door for him. I'm like, right, if you want to leave, then leave, you know? In the meantime, Bolin goes down. I'm like, no! And I come back and I kill this Zorn, along with the help of the rest of the party. And after this, we ended up next to a river, on the bank of a river, with a skeletal ferryman. Of course, undead. I was instantly attracted to that because I'm like, I don't think I should allow this to exist. I should probably do something about this. So I'm thinking about doing something about this ferryman. But in the meantime, Bolin, who is not the smartest tool in the shed and is rolling like -1 on all intelligence rolls, but she, amazingly, she rolls really high on her insight check. And she's like, hey, hang on a second. Skullport is a port, and this is a river, and port means river. We could river travel with boat to Skullport and avoid all of these hobgoblins and get there quicker. And we thought that was a good idea. I mean, I think I did actually want to go and see the hobgoblins, but at the same time, wherever Bolin leads, Dawn will follow. I am playing it right now that I am absolutely love-smitten over this woman. I'm doing everything I possibly can to be more attractive to her. A couple of sessions ago, we found these fountains of water. If we were like resource managing, this would be a place to restock water. We're not resource managing on this campaign. It's being hand waved away, but I still use this opportunity to kind of freshen up for the first time ever, have a wash. Oh my gosh. And in this particular session, this most recent one, if you recall, our barbarian had a circlet, which when you wear it and attune to it, it makes you appear like a moderately attractive human. And in this particular session, he took that off because he wanted to look like himself when he arrives in Skullport. And I was like, well, that's fair enough, but if you're not using that, can I maybe wear that? And I put it on and I tune to it. And I'm like, do you think Bolin will find me more attractive now that I'm a human? You know? I'm a bit desperate. But I did ask the guy who's playing Bolin, and I was like, look, are you okay with this? Like, I don't want you to feel uncomfortable here, because she as a character is not responding at all, or even like registering that I'm coming onto her. Like, she is completely friend zoning me. She's being nice and pleasant, but she is just brick walling this. Like, anytime I come to her, like, I use Druidcraft to make some lilies appear. Lilies, you know, they are flowers of the dead. And she's like, oh yes, Gorn, that's lovely. Thank you. Oh, you're so thoughtful. Friend zone. But I was like, is that just you role playing, or are you actually uncomfortable? Because if you are, then we can stop. It's not a problem at all. And he was like, oh no, it's absolutely fine. You come on to my character as much as you like, but she's probably not going to respond. And I'm like, that's absolutely fine. I don't care. That's the way we're doing this. So we are having a love-smitten Gorn right now, and he followed Bolin onto this river, rowed by this undead ferryman towards Skullport, which is a port. I can't believe it took 4 of us to realize this fact, but there we go. We traveled along this river. Along the way, we managed to dodge a couple of bullets because of good perception rolls. We found some drow that were hiding, and we showed the token. Don't disturb us, you know, and we ended up eventually in the clandestine city of Skullport. I say clandestine because the flavor text used that word. no less than 3 times. So obviously it is clandestine, is indeed what it is. And once we got there, basically it was a shopping trip. And the reason why it's a shopping trip is because we also use this opportunity. Obviously, during the fight with the Zorn, Zorns eat gold and treasure. And so it was literally like the DM was saying, how much gold do you have on you? How much gold do you have on you? How much gold do you have? Okay, he's going for you because you smell the tastiest. And so after that, we were like, hang on a second, maybe we should pool all of our gold into the bag of holding. So that's what we did. We put all of our gold in the bag of holding. We've got like 4,000 gold pieces. And it's this constant issue in any campaign. It was an issue in my campaign as well. It's like, you want to give gold as a reward for doing tasks. But then, what do you spend the gold on? Everyone, like a fighter, a martial class, of course, they're aiming for plate, which is like 1,500. That's quite expensive. But then once you've got plate, what's next? Like when you look at the standard items, most things in there are 10, 20, 30 gold, something like this. And you buy the things that you want, and the things you're not interested in, you don't buy. So unless you're literally in the gotta catch 'em all Pokemon method of just buying everything in every shop that you go to, at some point you're going to be like, I don't really want to buy anything. And then you're just constantly accumulating gold. You're like some sort of red dragon sitting on this massive, this bulging bag of holding that you've got. And you're like, well, what do we buy? And so in my campaign, I ended up having to just create this constant revolving door of magical items, which I was then like, here's a magical item for you. I'm going to sell that for 3,000. How much gold do you have on you? 3,000. What are the odds of that, huh? Okay, and you, here's a magical item for you. This is going to cost, 2,500. How much gold do you have? 2,300. Maybe come back later for that one, eh? and that was how I was trying to game manage it, right? Because there's nothing that's more fun than spending money in the real world and also in fantasy world. So, we were going shop to shop to shop, looking for things to spend money on, and unfortunately not doing a great job of it. Because despite the fact that this is a city full of whimsy and wonder and all sorts of strange esoteric things, it is ultimately a kind of pirate town. And so anytime we wanted to buy something, the DM was saying roll a d10, and if you were rolling 5 or under, then the item was in stock. And as luck would have it, I was actually rolling for once really well on my d10s, and so nothing I wanted was in stock. There we go. So yeah, we went to the various shops. I won't do a play-by-play of all of them, but there were some quite interesting ones. There was one which was like run by like a hag, a sea hag. Olive Stillwater was her name, and it was like a pawn shop, and she sold a lot of zombies and undead things. And I was making a note of that because earlier when we were walking through the city, we saw some like explosives underneath a bridge, which they could detonate in case of attack. Makes sense. And I was like, do you think I could maybe like move some of those explosives to this hag shop? Do you think there'll be enough there to detonate this hag shop and get rid of it? Because undead, not a big fan of undead. But anyway, we moved on. We found other things that we found. We went to this like wizard on the top floor. There was like a wizard who was basically squatting in this house, which is quite funny. He'd obviously like moved in and was just selling the possessions of the people that used to live in this house, and they're all dead. Everyone's just dead inside this house, and he's just there, and he's just like, and we're like, it's a house, and we're just like, we heard that you're selling magical items. Do you have anything like that we can wear, like cloaks or things like this? And he's like, oh, let's have a look. And he's just going through this wardrobe, and he's like, oh, yeah, this looks pretty magical. Here you go. So it was in this way that I ended up with a cloak of the manta ray. So my swim speed is now faster than my walking speed, which is really weird. And in that way as well, the Goliath barbarian, he got a shield. He wanted a shield which went along. He got a sentient axe like several sessions ago. Doesn't give any bonuses whatsoever. Every time you swing it, it calls him daddy, and it's like, yes, daddy, that's it, daddy. Oh, just like that, Daddy. That's all it does. It's an axe that does that, and he loves it. Even though he's got better weapons, he's constantly just using this axe, and it's really sad because he's like rolling a d6 or something. Plus his strength modifier. Like for this big, strong barbarian, he's putting out like a maximum of like 10 per turn. That's if he rolls at his maximum and he's raging. He's putting out like 10 damage, and we're just like, get a better weapon. And he's like, no. And so this session, he got a shield instead, as a partner to his daddy axe. He wanted a hit me shield. Every time it gets hit, it says, yes, hit me. Yes, daddy, me. People live out their fantasies vicariously in D&D. We do not ask questions, we just have a good old chuckle and we move on. And our halfling paladin, he decided that he wanted a mount, and he was looking for a mastiff. He couldn't find a mastiff. Instead, he found a giant rat, which has been named Elvira. Elvira the rat. And I keep like role-playing it for him, like every time he's like trying to mount it or something, and I'm just like, it's just going... It's just like hissing at him, and it's like barely trained. It's like, because he had to roll an animal handling check when he first saw it, and he completely whiffed that. So it's just a barely trained riding rat that is tolerating him on its back, which is quite funny. So yeah, that was the session really. We're just going from shop to shop to shop, finding out all these things. We did, however, along the way, find out some quite interesting stuff related to the backstory of Goliath Barbarian, because he, as I said, was revealing himself, who he really looks like. He's looking for his brother. His brother was said to be a pirate who worked in Skullport, and a lot of them were kind of mistaking him for his brother, and they were like, "Wow, we thought you were gone." And he was like, "Oh, you know." And so we were asking questions of various people, very knowledgeable pirates in this town. It was good. It wasn't difficult to find this information. We found out that his brother had actually been hired / sold into slavery to some wizard guy who wanted something digging up. Apparently, it turned out later he was an artificer called McGuff, and he apparently wanted big, strong people to dig up something from the ground, and then hired the brother of the big, strong barbarian to do this. Where is this person now? Further down, a few floors below, maybe. So that was quite funny, because it was quite obvious as listening to this that it's like, some group hired him, huh, to dig something up. An artificer, you say? Backstories colliding here. No, it's good. It's good. It's a sign that like everyone's got backstories now, and they're starting to be integrated and woven into the narrative. I like it. And the other thing, this wizard, by the way, his name was Felrax, wizard assassin. Felrax. We liked him. He was cool. And the other thing that he gave us as well was something that was called it was a newspaper, and it was called The Sign of the Times. And it was a newspaper, a bit like a kind of a Harry Potter newspaper that's constantly rewriting itself. And the headline is always explaining what's going on in the moment. So if you're ever confused what's happening, you can just look at the newspaper and figure out what's happening. It's genius. I love it. It's a way of asking the DM what's going on without actually asking the DM what's going on. You're like, I have no idea what's happening. I will consult my newspaper. So yeah, I liked that. That's a nice little homebrew item that was added there. He was our DM, as I say. He didn't expect us to get to Skullport this quickly. He expected us to spend that entire session going this way. Instead, we went that way and got straight to Skullport. So he had not prepped Skullport at all, and he was flying by the seat of his pants, bless him. And so he was on ChatGPT for half the time, being like, "Give me another magic item that I can sell that's not too OP." and to be fair, he came up with some quite good ones. And yeah, it finished. We rested for the night in what was clearly some sort of drow brothel. We stayed the night there, and we finished with Gorn sneaking out in the middle of the night. In a brothel? Sneaking out? Where could he be going? He's going to a bathhouse. He's going to have a wash. And then he's going to try and buy something. He hasn't done this yet. He's going to go and buy something nice for Bolene. I'm gonna message the GM between now and the next session, and I'm gonna tell him that Gorn's gone to buy something nice. Go to ChatGPT, generate something nice that I can find for 10 gold. I'm curious what he comes up with. It's gonna be funny. So really, that's the session. It was a lot of fun. It's always nice to have a shopping trip. I think the DM was feeling quite apologetic because he hadn't prepped it and he was flying by the seat of his pants, and he was I think he felt a bit kind of guilty that he hadn't expected us to go this way, and we were like, it's fine, it doesn't matter, it's not a problem. We still had a lot of fun, and we managed to spend some of our gold, probably about half of it. We've still got like 2,000 left. It's impossible to spend gold. Impossible. Yeah, so that was basically all she wrote. I think next session we're going to probably have to now come back because we want to find now the stairs to the next floor down, because now that we've restocked in Skullport, the next step is of course to go to the next floor and try and find the brother of our big strong barbarian. So that probably means going back this way, and that probably means encountering finally these warlords of Azrak. But we've gone from behind. We're now pincer movementing them with the drow. Maybe we can communicate with the drow and tell them attack from both sides and get them between. Whatever. It's all fun. Anyway, so until next time, I need to go and get changed now into my black tie suit, which is fun. And I'm going to be off to wine and dine into the early hours, which is doubly fun. But until next time, see you there.